California just ran a massive economic experiment on its fast food industry, and the shockwaves are changing how everyone lives.
Yeah, they really are. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone.
We are so glad you are here. Today, our mission is to explore California's rapidly shifting economic and social landscape.
Right, and we are pulling from a massive stack of recent studies, news reports, and local updates to figure out what is really happening on the ground.
Exactly. So, jumping straight into our news hook, because things are moving incredibly fast, California enacted this unprecedented law called AB 1228.
Right.
And this law aggressively pushed the minimum wage for fast food workers straight to $20 an hour.
Just a huge jump.
A massive jump. Let me give you the stark reality of what that means today. A single fry station now costs a restaurant over $7,300 a month, just in basic labor.
Oh, wow. Just for the fry station?
Just for one station. And 98% of surveyed owners raised their prices or actually considered closing down or automating the jobs.
That is wild. But before we dig into the fallout, I need to do a quick impartiality check.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Because this policy is intensely politically charged.
Yeah.
You know, people have extremely strong feelings about it. But we are not taking sides today.
Not at all.
We are purely looking at what the data says about the fallout. You know, we are not endorsing any political viewpoint. We just want to see the facts.
Okay, let's unpack this. Think about this wage hike like squeezing a balloon.
Okay, a balloon.
Yeah. If you push down hard on labor costs by forcing wages up, the expenses do not just vanish.
Right.
They pop out somewhere else. So do they pop out as higher menu prices, or do they pop out as robot fry cooks?
Well, the balloon is definitely popping out elsewhere. But the crazy thing is, economists strongly disagree on who is actually getting hurt here.
Really?
Yeah. We have major studies painting completely opposite pictures of reality.
Oh, that part threw me when I was looking at the notes. So let's look at the first picture.
Yeah.
We have these critical studies from the NBER and researchers at UC Santa Cruz. They estimate that California lost 18,000 fast food jobs.
18,000? Wow.
Yeah, jobs that would have existed without the law. They found that franchise owners are aggressively cutting costs, slashing worker hours, and raising menu prices by like 8 to 12%.
So prices jump significantly.
Exactly. And the owners are rushing to install AI ordering systems and self-serve kiosks.
Right, so the robots. But then, you know, you flip the coin and look at the data from the IRLE and the Shift Project.
Okay.
And the Shift Project actually surveys the hourly workers about their direct experiences. And they found something entirely different.
What did they find?
They found that covered workers secured an 11 to 18% pay increase.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that equates to an average bump of $2.50 an hour.
Okay, that is real money.
It is. And they claim this drastically reduced poverty without massive drops in employment.
Hold on, I mean, I need to challenge that. How is that mathematically possible?
Oh, I know, it sounds contradictory.
Right, if labor costs jump and operators are not firing people, that money has to come from somewhere.
Exactly. Which brings us to a really crucial study by Hitanshu Pandit.
Oh, right, the credit card study.
Yeah. He completely bypassed employer surveys and just looked at credit card transactions to see who pays.
Smart.
He found that overall customer visits dropped by 6 to 7%.
Okay, so less people going out.
Right. But the pain was not spread evenly. Low-income diners remained totally insulated. They kept their habits the exact same.
Oh, interesting. So who changed their behavior?
The higher-income consumers. They visited less often, but when they did go, they spent 2 to 3% more per visit.
Wow, so they're the ones paying for it.
Exactly. The burden is shifting. Higher-income consumers are quietly absorbing the costs through more expensive burger runs.
That makes so much sense. But, you know, restaurants cannot just endlessly pass the buck.
No, eventually people just stop showing up.
Right. And traditional restaurants operate on incredibly tight 2 to 4% profit margins anyway.
Razor thin.
So they have to fundamentally change how they feed people, which brings us to this massive shift in the industry.
Yeah, the way we eat is changing.
Completely. Look at the LA's data. We saw iconic sit-down spots closing in Los Angeles. But despite that, LA actually saw record-breaking 758 new restaurants open.
Wait, 758 new ones?
Yes.
How do you open that many new spots when labor costs are so high?
You completely eliminate the dining room.
Oh, I see.
They are pivoting to limited service and ghost kitchens. Take this place called Echo Park Eats near Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
It is a single facility hosting 40 different restaurants. 40. But it operates purely for delivery and takeout. You cannot sit down.
So they just bypass the high labor overhead of waiters and busboys entirely.
Exactly. It is like downloading software.
How do you mean?
Well, you do not buy the physical disc anymore, right?
Yeah.
You do not buy the physical dining room. You just download the code, or in this case, the food, straight to your house.
That is such a good analogy. And, that desperate cost-cutting is not just hitting the restaurants.
No.
No, regular people are making drastic lifestyle changes just to afford living in the state.
Right. The affordability crisis is everywhere.
Yeah, especially with housing. The share of adults 65 and older looking for roommates has completely tripled.
Tripled for seniors.
Yes, look at the story of David West.
Yeah.
He is a 72-year-old former cinematographer.
Okay.
He faced a bunch of cascaded financial shocks and burned through his savings. Now, he is forced into renting a single room with a complete stranger.
Oh man, at 72, that is brutal.
It is, and it goes beyond housing. Basic neighborhood amenities are vanishing as areas gentrify.
Like what?
Like the Chinatown laundry crisis. They do not have machines in the older buildings.
Wait, so where do people wash their clothes?
They were washing them in bathtubs because developers only build for high-income renters with private machines.
In bathtubs? That is unbelievable.
Yeah, but then this group called the Laundry Truck LA stepped in.
Oh, a mobile service.
Exactly. It is a mobile service stepping in to run 40 loads a shift for seniors and low-income residents.
Wow, 40 loads a shift.
Yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, as the middle class hollows out, residents are relying on these micro-community solutions just to survive macroeconomic problems.
That is so true. And it is not just housing and laundry.
Yeah.
The state's broader institutional safety nets are buckling under the pressure, too.
Like healthcare and education.
Yes, all of it. Let's look at healthcare. There is a massive pediatric vision crisis right now.
Oh, I read about this.
Yeah, only 16% of kids on Medi-Cal are getting eye exams. That is down from 19%.
16% is staggeringly low. Why is that happening?
Well, look at the story of Kakoa. He
Yeah.
had severe nearsightedness that went totally undiagnosed. School screenings rarely lead to actual doctor visits because it is just too expensive or parents cannot get the time off.
Right.
So again, nonprofits have to step in. A group called Vision to Learn brings mobile eye clinics directly to the schools.
Oh, so just like the laundry truck.
Mm.
A localized intervention.
Exactly. And we see the same strain in education. Cal State Dominguez Hills is fighting a 20% enrollment drop.
20%.
Yeah, and this is amidst a massive $2.3 billion deficit for the whole university system.
So what are they doing about it?
They are using really aggressive tactics. They launch these first-year experience summer boot camps to keep kids engaged. And they have a program called Once a Toro. They actually track down dropouts and waive their past due fees just to get them to come back and graduate.
Wow, so they're really going block by block to save the system.
Right. But not all systems adapt positively. Look at the justice system.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the data from the Adelanto ICE facility is staggering.
What happened there?
Solitary confinement spiked from 14 people to 105 people in mere month.
105. That is a huge jump.
It is. And there are allegations that detainees are thrown into isolation for 23 hours a day just for complaining about broken showers.
23 hours a day, just for a complaint.
Yes. So, I have to ask, what does this all mean? Are we seeing a state where the official systems are just failing? So, guerrilla operations, like mobile laundry and eye trucks have to become the actual safety net?
It really looks that way, right? The pressure is immense.
Yeah.
But, despite all this economic and social strain, Californians are fiercely protecting their communities.
Yeah, they really are.
They are protecting their history, their nature, and their joy.
I love that. Give me an example of the culture side.
Okay, so look at the Pomona community.
Yeah.
They had this really nuanced debate over the Cesar Chavez murals.
Oh, right, because of the sexual assault allegations against him.
Exactly. His legacy is heavily tarnished now.
Yeah.
But instead of just destroying the artist is actively updating it.
Updating it how?
He is swapping Chavez's face for Dolores Huerta, or in some spots, a generic farm worker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it preserves the movement's history without glorifying a flawed individual.
That is such a mature way to handle it, and people are protecting nature just as fiercely. There's this botanist, Naomi Fraga. She spent 15 years searching for the rare Death Valley sage seeds.
15 years?
15 years. Just as climate change is threatening them, she finally found them.
That is incredible dedication.
And you see that same love for nature with the big bear bald eagle chicks.
Oh, I saw this. Sunny and Gizmo, right?
Yes, Sunny, Gizmo, and the new hatching pips. Tens of thousands of viewers tuned in online just to watch these eagles hatch.
It is so raw and unfiltered.
Right. People are desperate for joy.
They really are. And that brings us to the community aspect. Have you heard about the LA River dance parties?
Wait, in the actual concrete riverbed?
Yes. The Gratitude Group is throwing these free, dry, viral dance parties right down in the concrete riverbed.
That is amazing.
It is just to help Angelinos unplug and connect with each other. You know, when systems become automated or overly expensive or just strained, people naturally seek out raw connection.
Yeah, they want to feel human.
Whether that is watching an eagle hatch or, dancing in a dry riverbed.
I think that perfectly wraps up our deep dive today. California is acting as a real-time laboratory.
It really is.
From $20 wages, creating robot fry cooks, to seniors finding roommates, to mobile laundry trucks, the state is evolving incredibly fast.
It is changing every single day.
So we want to leave you with the final, lingering question to mull over. If automation, high costs, and gig work permanently reshape our cities, will the American dream of the future look less like independent wealth and homeownership, and more like deeply shared resources, communal living, and finding our joy in the dry river beds of our cities?
Wow. That is quite the thought.
It is. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, and we will see you next time.